For 4 minutes about the 2020 election. We're not allowed to object in Pennsylvania where they unconstitutionally changed their election law, but you can object to Alabama?
No, well, I'm glad you raised that issue. All right.
Mr. Raskin can object to Florida?
It's my time now. So I raised the issue of Russian interference in our election. I also raised the issue of voter suppression, which was a real concern in that election. I took the action, and I said at the time, it's a symbolic action. I had no senator to join with me, but I wanted to make sure that the issue of voter suppression and potential Russian... excuse me, please. There's a difference here. I did not organize a rally or have meetings to actually plan and undermine an election.
I didn't either.
And the Capitol wasn't attacked before I made my objection.
There's a difference. The difference being Democrats are allowed, but Republicans aren't.
If you don't want to testify here, you're free to leave.
You keep saying all kinds of things, don't give me a chance to respond.
Seriously, I've given you a chance to respond. You won't let me get a question out.
All right, go ahead.
All right?
Ask your question.
The Capitol wasn't attacked before or after I made my objection. The Vice President wasn't rushed to a secure location. His life wasn't threatened. President Obama at the time didn't tweet out a video saying he loved rioters. There wasn't even a vote on my objection. So there's a false equivalency here. There's an attempt to whitewash what happened on that terrible, terrible day. I was the last person off the floor on January 6th. I came face to face with these people in the speaker's gallery, and I will tell you, if you want me to describe what evil looks like, it's looking through those faces, those people who, while 3 police officers were in front of the door trying to protect all of us, they were smashing the windows open to get at people. And so...
Pausing it right there. First off, Jim Jordan firing back at, what's his name? Whoever this guy is, his name's not listed. I will, you guys know who he is. Anybody who was a victim, let's just say, of the January 6th insurrection actually should not be involved with this at all, believe it or not. Since they are victims, they actually should have been taken out of the situation, even in power, by all logic. Because something happened, now there has to be there's witnesses, now the witnesses need to be protected, so there you go. I mean, the question is who's really running the country. It's definitely not these people. They're only doing what they're being told. And that's what this guy's afraid of. Everybody finding out. That they're all don't know what to do. This guy's traumatized, which makes him a compromised chairman. His decisions are compromised. Do you see the conflict of interest? You have somebody on one side who's at a conflict. He's making decisions based on his emotions instead of what is actually going on. Shall we continue?
The notion that there's all this outrage today over people asking questions, and there's not outrage over the fact that the police, the Capitol Police, who are here to protect us and who do protect us every day, were beaten. People lost their lives. Others' lives were threatened. The fact that somehow we asking questions about trying to figure out why did this happen, who is responsible, that somehow that is a bad thing. Give me a break. Give me a break. I mean,
here's your break right here. You're compromised in everything you're talking about right now because you are a victim. So you should actually not even be sitting there giving an explanation for whoever's working above you. Technically, this little meeting is nonchalant.
One of you mentioned political theater. If this is not political theater, I don't know what is. But let me just say, one of the most genuine statements that I have heard uttered in the Capitol was by Vice Chair Cheney, who, to her credit, is embracing the truth and asking her Republican colleagues to join with her and make.
If she's embracing the truth, then she knows I'm right when I say both victims and victimizers are both in the same boat and should not be making any comments or any explanations to anything going on in this case. In fact, the investigators involved in investigating this whole thing are probably doing it right now, and we're watching it. Just letting you know, that's quite the possibility that we are all being watched and investigated while this stuff is going on. It would be the only reason why they would put this guy out there, because technically he's a victim and he should not be out there. His decisions are compromised. Everything he does is compromised. Same with everybody else who is involved with this.
Making sure that the questions are answered in a way so the American people know what happened, so it never, ever, ever happens again. I mean, all of us are concerned about the future of our democracy in the aftermath of what happened. We don't ever want to see that happen again. So that's what this is all about. So we can talk about inflation, you can talk about the border, you can talk whatever you want to talk about. Fine. You're at the Rules Committee, you can talk.
If you don't ever want to see stuff like this happen again, don't get activists or now victims to actually stand up as chairmen to push your narrative, because that's what the secret is here. They've already got victims that are going to push back, that are in chairmen, that are chairmen, that are involved there, like, you know, Nadler. Of course, all the times he's butting in and stuff like that, of course. He's traumatized too. There's a conflict of interest. So, Jim Jordan, to be totally honest, you've got every single one of their numbers right now.
Whatever the hell you want to talk about. But the bottom line is, I think what we're doing here today is absolutely necessary.
Can I respond?
You may.
I'm not trying to whitewash anything. Republicans have been consistent. We have condemned violence every stinking time it happened. We condemned it on January 6th, and 600 people are being prosecuted and held accountable for what they did wrong, as well they should be. But it would have been nice if you guys would have condemned the violence in the summer of 2020, instead of making statements like my colleague just read. It would have been nice.
Absolutely agree. Where was all this security and all that stuff back then? Where was all the condemning? Where was all the stuff back then?
Instead of the Vice President of the United States raising money to bail rioters out of jail, it would have been nice if you'd have done that. No. This double standard, you guys get to say all the things you did about Trump for 4 years. You get to have the summer of 2020 and call it peaceful protest. We condemn violence every single time. It'd have been nice if you guys had done the same. I am so sick of the double standard. Americans are so sick of the double standard.
Well, I think many of us did condemn it. I condemn violence wherever it may occur. But, let me just say this. You can yell and scream as much as you want. The bottom line is,
no, I'm not yelling and screaming. I'm reflecting where the American people are. They've had it with the double standard. You're allowed to object, we're not.
No, you can object. That's not the issue. Is not whether or not you have raised an objection, Mr. Jordan. The issue is what transpired that day. The issue is that after we'll see what the investigation leads. But after all of this time, still,
I'll tell you where the investigation is going to lead. You guys are all going to be taken off of there because you are all victims and should be in witness protection instead of being right in front of your victimizer's face on TV. Are you guys that stupid? Jim Jordan, I'm sure you see the same thing I do. Were you a witness to what happened inside there when in what he's describing? Were you there? You're not the victim. You're not a victim in this. Yes and no. America's a victim. These guys here, these people, including Nadler, including Nancy Pelosi, should not even have anything to say right now. They shouldn't say anything. They shouldn't be talking. They shouldn't be saying squat. Because they're all witnesses. And if there is an investigation, anything, yes, they say can and will be used against them. So, bullseye. How's them apples? Big wake-up call, isn't it? See you, Nadler. See you, everybody who was inside that hall and witnessed all that. Because you're not even supposed to be showing yourself right now. You know I'm right. You know I'm right.